What is up, Scorpion? Today we are back with a Series 10 deck profile post the banning of the Universe 3 cards, and today we're going to be going over a deck that's been starting to get a little bit more traction. You know, a lot of the best players in the game are talking about this deck and hyping it up and how good it is this set, and honestly, it has a ton of tools now with Series 10 to become a more dominant force in the game. And so I'm giving you my take today on Mono Black Towa. So before I get started, let me give a shout out to my sponsor, Alec Pastrana, Beard Collectibles, best shop on the planet. If you ever haven't ordered your product for Series 10 already, make sure you go through Alec Pastrana and beardcollectibles.com. Link will be down in the description below, along with a deck list, along with a link to the best Patreon on the planet if you're looking to improve your game on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So anyway, let's go into it. So Towa, on the front side, activate main, burst 3, look at the top 5 cards from your deck, choose up to one mirror or fu among them, add them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. And then Awaken is when you have 10 or more black cards in your warp, you may draw one card, choose up to one of your energies, switch to activate, then flip this card over. On your Awaken side, activate main, you can choose 3 black cards in your warp and place them in your drop area, then you choose up to one mirror card in your battle area, and it gains critical for the duration of the turn. And then activate battle, choose one card in your hand and place it in your drop area, choose up to one keyword skill on independence battle cards and negate it for the duration of the turn. So Towa has always been a leader that saw a ton of play back in Series 6 and 7 format. Deck is a hand destruction deck, and it does a really good job of applying pressure on the opponent by not attacking early, taxing the opponent's resources, and then grinding them out with Mirror 7 drops, just playing them over and over again. And the deck picked up a ton of steam when it ended up getting Mirror Self-Reformation from the Anniversary box. And so that's kind of what pushed the deck over the top. And so in Series 10, the deck got another tool to help the deck become even more powerful. And my stance on the deck, I actually play the deck more aggressively because now you have the ability to, which is really awesome. So going into the list, from Series 10, we got Mirror Faithful Servant. So this card reads, activate main. If you don't have any battle cards in play this card from your hand. Then activate main, 3, choose up to one mirror card with an original cost or 5 in your hand and play it on top of this card. So this card here just came out, and it kind of changes the way that you have to build the deck. Because a lot of people, when they're playing this deck in the past, were relying on Vegeta, time regular Vegeta, to be able to be the card draw engine. And Mirror Faithful Servant kind of works against that, because it doesn't want you to have any battle cards in play, and you're going to be playing this card on the 3rd turn of the game. Because more likely, you're not going to let it sit around and let your opponent have a chance to kill it. You're just going to do it right away. You're just going to play this, pay your 3 energy, go into your 5 drop. So we're playing 4 Mirror Faithful Servant. We're playing 4 Mirror Self-Reformation. Has double strike. And then Union Absorb, you can choose one Towa card in your warp and place it under this card. If your leader card is a Towa or Android card, choose up to one mirror card in your deck with an energy cost of 7 and play it in active mode on top of this card. And then shuffle your deck. And then it also has Deflect, which is important. Gets around a lot of things. And then Permanent, if you have 10 or more black cards in your warp, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So you can play this either on top of your Mirror Faithful Servant, or you can just hard cast this for 4 when you have 10 or more black cards in your warp, which is great. 4 Mirror Creator Absorbed has the ability to be overwhelmed, has Deflect, and then auto. When you play this card using Union, your opponent chooses 3 cards from their hand and sends them to their warp, and this card gains double strike for the duration of the turn. So this is, of course, the hand destruction aspect. And this is going to be one of your finishers. So it's going to gain double strike, and then when this card attacks, it gains plus 5,000 power for each card in your warp. So this is why Mirror Creator Absorb has always been so powerful, is that you make your warp gigantic through using Overwhelm, and then you swing with it, and then you just, do infinite damage. So think of a card that basically has Bibbidi Super Combo stapled to it. Our Towas, we're playing 4 Towa Dark Imperial Scientist. I really wanted to try this card out because it's just solid value. Overwhelm for 2, and then choose one card in your hand, discard it. When this card is played using Overwhelm, draw one card, and then choose up to one of your black battle cards. It gets plus 5,000 for the turn. So what's nice is this can take and pump one of your battle cards in play. It can pump itself. It's an easy, cheap attacker to use with Overwhelm. Allows you to use some of your drop area effects. Like after you burst 3, let's say you burst 3, only have 3 cards, but one of those cards is a Not Even a Scratch. You can warp the Not Even a Scratch to draw a card, and then still Overwhelm 2 to play your Towa Dark Imperial Scientist. And I just like how this card goes to the warp after the end of the turn. So that kind of sets up your mirror plays. They're playing 2 Towa Twisted Sister. It's the SR from Series 10. Counterplay, play this card. When this card is played, draw one card, then shuffle up to one card from opponent's drop area into their deck. You could do a 3-3 split between the two Towas, but I really wanted to see how strong Dark Imperial Scientist felt in the early turn, so I'm playing 4 copies. But Towa Twisted Sister, the only thing is you have to make sure you get it off the board before you play your Mirror Faithful Servant. So that's why I'm kind of lower on it than I normally would be. Then we're playing 4 Mirror Relentless Destructions. This is the card that you usually are playing as your first turn play. You're usually going to burst 3, search the top 5, either find this card or already have it, play it, make your opponent discard a card, and then if you're on the play, pass. If you're on the draw, you have the choice. You can choose to swing. I usually choose to swing if I have the rest of the mirror chain in my hand, so I can be aggressive against the opponent and get their life total down fast to kind of, open up the noose and allow them to either hang themselves by, pitching cards to defend their life or taking life early, and then that just kind of just tightens the vice grip on them, so they run out of options when you start discarding their hand and you're being aggressive. So this card can play both roles. It really just depends on if it's play or draw, and it depends if you actually have the rest of the mirror chain in your hand. 3 Dark Absorption Mirror. This is a great way to overwhelm. It's free overwhelm, and then Union Absorb for 4. Place 1 Towa card from your warp onto this card. If your leader card is an android or Towa, choose 1 mirror with an energy cost of 7 in your hand or warp and play it on top of this card in active mode. The reason why this card is so important is the ability to be able to get the mirror back from the warp. So once your Mirror Creator Absorb dies, being able to always have access to it with Dark Absorption Mirror, so you can just keep going to the different chains, is a very powerful effect. Also, if you have mirrors stuck in your hand, Dark Absorption Mirror is a great way to be able to get it out of your hand and get it into play. Mirror Explosion of Energy. We're playing 2 copies. Critical Barrier. When this card is played, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and sends them to their warp. And then auto choose 2 cards in your hand and send them to your warp. When one of your opponent's cards attacks, negate the attack, then negate the skill for the turn. So I'm playing 4 Self-Reformation, 2 Mirror Explosion of Energy, and these are just extra 5-drop options for your Faithful Servant. But also, you can hard cast this mirror for 5 and not feel bad about it. So let's say the game's going later, you can play this for 5, has critical, has barrier, your opponent's going to lose 2 cards, and it's a 25k attacker. So card is high value, it's a common from this set. Make sure you pick up some copies, you're probably going to enjoy playing with it. Next is the rest of the deck. We're playing 3 Awakened Warrior Bardock. So why am I so high on this card? So number 1, I think this is probably one of the most important Overwhelm cards heading into Series 10, because not only do you want Double Strike to help you close the game, you want a Double Striker that doesn't cost you energy, but also the ability to pressure Unisons. The fact that this is a free Overwhelm, Double Strike allows you to take any Unison out of their range to be able to use their free counterplay, or out of range of their ultimate, or just to kill them entirely. So we're playing 3 Awakened Warrior Bardock. I was playing 2, did not feel like enough. I needed to see it more often. Went up to 3, could potentially go up to 4, but I'm trying to test out some removal options. Playing 2-Dimensional Banisher Fu. This is a card that's tutorable with your leader. Also, Overwhelm 5. Pay 1, Double Strike when this card is played with. When you play this card with Overwhelm, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to their warp. So just removal. And they're playing 1 Secret Identity Mass Sand. Ideally, you're going to be playing 2 more copies in your sideboard. You're also playing the 3rd Dimensional Banisher Fu in your sideboard. And this card is Overwhelm 6, free, doesn't cost energy. When this card is played using Overwhelm, choose any number of your opponent's battle cards that add up to a total energy cost of 6 or less and send them to their owner's warp. So against go wide strategies, you're going to want to bring in your Secret Identity Mass Sands. Against taller strategies, you're going to want to keep your Dimensional Fu in and bring in another copy. Our secret rare, we're playing SS4 Gogeta, Peerless Fusion. So this card is great. Ultimate, Triple Strike, permanent. You can't play battle cards, and this card can't be removed from your battle area by skills, and you can't combo with cards in your battle area. Activate main, 5. If all of your energy is the same color, which it will be, play this card from your hand. Draw 2 cards, switch to 2 energy to active mode. Then your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and 2 of their battle cards and sends them to their owner's warp. So it's more removal, and it's just another way to get cards out of your opponent's hand. And I like this effect over Smoke Dragon. Even though Smoke Dragon gets to do 4 cards, it doesn't do it right away. And so something could happen to it, you may never get to activate it, and it has too many restrictions on it. Having X amount of cards in your drop area makes it much harder. So Peerless Fusion is our choice for secret rare. 4 Bibbidi Primeval Conjurer. Matt, why aren't you playing the Supreme Kai of Time? Bibbidi is a messed up card. It's a super combo that can turn any one of your attackers into a lethal attacker. It is something your opponent always has to worry about. You tax their negates just because of the existence of Bibbidi in your deck. Because they're afraid that any one of your cards can be the card that's going to finish the game as long as it has a Bibbidi backed up on it. So Awakened Warrior Bardock is a double striker that threatens lethal. All your mirrors can threaten lethal. I also like it because, let's say your opponent's at 4 life, you go into your mirror chain, so you go to the 5-drop, you give the 5-drop critical, you swing with it, and if your opponent doesn't negate, you just pump a Bibbidi behind it, they're taking double strike critical, then you're going to go into your 7-drop, Creator Absorbed, make them lose 3 cards, swing with that, and then that's going to win the game. So, Primeval Conjurer, play 4. I get it, Supreme Kai time, drawing a card is great. I know Towa doesn't draw a lot of cards, but Bibbidi is just such a powerful card. We're playing 2 Not Even a Scratch to help us draw more cards. You could play 3 if you really need to see it early. I'm playing 2 right now. Playing 2 Kuitsukai, Mechanical Courage. Card has great synergy with the deck because it allows you to put 7 drops back into your deck if for any reason you draw too many of them. Then, of course, it's going to stop your opponent from playing cards like Towa or cards on your turn, that are 20k or less. So Kuitsukai, amazing card. 4 Supreme Kai time, Guardian of Space-Time from the starter deck. But Matt, it makes sure your leader has to be a black Saiyan when it's placed in your drop area and you get to play it for free. I understand that, but the first auto is incredibly good. Auto, if you have 5 or less cards in your hand when this card is used in a combo, this card gets plus 5,000 combo power for the battle. It's basically another super combo. If your hand is a reasonable size, is a normal size, it just acts as another super combo. Because it's going to check, you're going to combo the card. So, okay, boom, I'm at 5 cards in hand. This is another 10k combo. This allows you to pressure your opponent, allows you to play defensively without having to commit energy or negates. It's so powerful. And back that up with the fact that you can play Power Burst as well to be able to recycle it. You can negate, grab this back, now you have 10k combo, and you can either use it aggressively or defensively. You could do other choices, like you play Making an Entrance, Son Goku Making an Entrance, if you want to have an additional negate that's tutorable. But right now, like I said, I'm playing this deck more aggressively. I want to be able to end the game much faster than Towa could before. I was playing games last night, and being able to end the game on turn 3 in your Towa deck is pretty amazing. So, think of that as you go forward. Supreme Kai time, Guardian of Space-Time. I think this card is also pretty messed up. I just think that people are only playing it in the context of playing Vegeks, and yeah, it's good to be able to play it for free, but just having the ability to combo it with 5 or less cards in hand and get that extra 5k combo so it just becomes a 10k is so great in this format. And then, like I said, Power Burst is our negate. Being able to get back your Supreme Kai time, Guardian of Space-Time, your Kuitsukai, being able to get back your Towa, Twisted Sister is just great. So I understand that Kuitsukai, you have to remove it from the game, so you can't just keep recycling it with Towa ability. But if you just mill it, on one of your turns and need to get it back with Power Burst, you just have the option to. So in general, I think the deck is very strong. A lot of people are talking about it being tier 1.5, tier 2. I definitely think it sits there. I think it can punish a lot of the decks in the format for playing trying to play any sort of fair game. And the deck just does so well with all the defensive options it has available to it, and its ability to be aggressive or mid-range, I think is very powerful. I think you're going to see a lot of decks, a lot of takes on this deck coming out in the near future from other content producers, because I think, since now, Universe 3 is banned, it kind of expands our horizons a little bit for this format. But in general, I'm excited to see where this list goes. I'm excited to see, where it goes in my testing. I'll continue to keep you guys updated. And then, of course, just how the Series 10 format evolves now that we don't have, a Juggernaut deck in the format. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, the deck list link will be down in the description below. Hope you guys have a great day. Okay, thanks. Bye!